You know, something I've realized with how I've been playing this game is that how I've chosen to progress through the areas has been rather pick and choosy. I've been like, oh, I feel like doing this area this time. And it only just occurred to me that no, that's not really how you should be playing a roguelike game. Where you go should be dependent purely on what your current loadout is. For example, part of the reason why I've had trouble with the ramparts in the past, and yet had such an easy time with it last time, was the fact that the defining feature of that area is that it has a shit ton of enemies, especially later on when it has those whole groups of flyers. So if you have something that's good for dealing with that, such as the magnetic grenade, you're not going to have a problem. If you don't have something that's good for dealing with a group of enemies, as I did when I previously went into that area, you're going to have a very difficult time indeed. And now that I'm actively taking that sort of thing into consideration, I think I might be able to make consistent progress, at least get up to the first boss. For example, if I want to go to the ossuary, as I noted last time, I'm going to want to make sure I have at least 3 to 4k gold so I can pick up at least one item in the intermediary store. I got some pretty good weapons. Let's go with a strength upgrade. Otherwise, though, I really don't want to go to the ossuary because it's a very difficult area. I'm sure there's specific items that you'd want there as well, but I'm new enough to that area that I'm not really sure what they'd be. I think for this one I might try and go for the sewer path again, this time continuing on to the old sewers. If I recall, that was much like the toxic sewers in that you have to deal with poison, those assholes that explode on death, as well as, what was it, the scorpions. So if I have good stuff for dealing with them, I can continue on there with relative surety that I can make it past. Oh, another thing I need to make sure I do is actually respect the goddamn boss. I still think it's pretty easy, a bit too easy, but disrespecting it like I did last time, treating it like it was not a threat at all, that was probably a mistake. Let's see, a lot of good stuff here. I'm tempted by this, because presumably that counts like those poison balls that these scorpions spit as well. So if I'm heading to the sewers, this is probably worthwhile. If I manage to pick up another 1,000 gold, I might choose the Biter Swarm as well. That's always a good skill to have, regardless of your loadout. Oh! Okay, game, you're just gonna give me that 1,000 gold immediately. Sure, I'll take it. Let's see, heavy crossbow over there. I'm not a huge fan of the infinite ammo bow, even though it does give you a ranged weapon that you're not limited by. Limited in uses, which probably comes into play with the bosses especially. Not that I've really seen, because I didn't really use throwing knives last time, but the fact that you have to kill the thing to recover the ammo that you fire into it means that most ranged weapons are probably worthless against the boss. Let's go with the heavy crossbow. I just prefer it, how it works in general. The infinite ammo bow might be a better choice, but yeah. Seriously, I love that it's basically a shotgun. It's so nice. Just gonna have my biters take care of this, I think. They do a very good job of murdering. I love my little biter swarms. Ooh, infantry bow. I'll stick with the heavy crossbow. Oh, strength upgrade, picking that up immediately. Never forgo level ups in this game. They're so key to survival later on, in my opinion. If your damage and health and whatnot doesn't keep increasing, you're not gonna have too easy of a time. Really though, it does depend on what you get. You don't need increased health or weapon damage if, say, you have good skills and you've been getting skill level ups. Still though, getting as many level ups as possible is never a bad idea. See, I'm gonna want to go to the sewers, so I have to find the vine exit, which is right over here. Let me explore that later then, make sure there's nothing else over here that I can pick up. I could be leaving something like a level up behind. Ooh, phaser. I'll take that. Don't have another skill, so I'll take anything. Alright, that just leads to the sarcophagus exit, so I'm ignoring that for the sake of time. Alright, back to the sewers already. Nice. And the music wasn't looping there. First time I've had that happen in the first stage, I think. Let's see. Maybe increase the damage of the magnetic grenade, considering how much I'm in love with it. Yeah, it's probably worthwhile, especially since the first tier upgrade is quite cheap. The second one is considerably more expensive, though. Alright, let's see how my current setup does with the first tier of sewers. Yeah, I really wish Phaser warped you to enemies that were above or below you. That would give it so much more utility. As it is, it's just kinda unless you have the Assassin's Dagger, which combos quite nicely with it. Oh, damn it. There's the reduced range of the Twin Daggers coming into play. I thought I'd be able to strike that Skelly, but nope. Just barely out of my range, and I paid for it. Ah. Seriously, they need to give you more time for those hourglass doors. It is way too tight as of the current patch. Wow, I'm not sure how I managed to take no damage during that sequence, but sure, I'll take it. Let my little friends deal with the archer while I take care of Mr. Skelly here. Take care of. God damn it, wow. Is it just me, or have I been more mumbly and stuttery lately? It could just be because this is a frantic game that requires a lot of concentration. In fact, that's probably it. Between it and the Surge, which is a bit slower paced, but complex enough that it's you still have to pay a lot of attention to it. I've been playing some pretty attention-hoggy games. Because like before that I was just playing Hollow Knight, which is a pretty chill game. It does get hectic at times, but for the most part you don't have to pay too much attention to do well. I should perhaps consider that in the future when deciding games I want to record playthroughs of. As it is, I'm not just gonna end these playthroughs here though. I really don't want to. I've done that in the past and I never like it when I do that. As long as I'm enjoying the game, I'm gonna try and continue on. Wow, that's the first skill upgrade I've been able to get. Hopefully I get more of those so I can make my little bug friends even stronger. What is the purpose of this door here? Procedural generation. You and your ridiculous quirks. Ooh, another Biter Swarm. Poisons the victim. Okay, I'm swapping out my other phaser. Now I have 2 Biter Swarms at the ready. I am the Insect Lord. And the game approves of my choice, making my Biter Swarms even more powerful. That's how you know that I'm doing the right... Oh my god, wow. I realized part of the damage to that archer was from the arrows that are fired out from my first volley, but still, he went down incredibly quickly. Let's see... Ooh, shots pierce the first target. That is, yeah, that's straight up better than my current heavy crossbow. Good enough that I think I'll actually try and start using it again. I kind of forgot that I had that thing. Okay, I'm going to the next sewer stage, so yeah, I'm gonna want that. I don't have the gold for it at the moment, though. And I think I've explored enough of this place that I'm probably not gonna pick up enough, but you never know. Like there, having poison immunity would have been very handy. Let's see, do I want to swap out my twin daggers? Nope, nope. The 2 times damage dealt receive thing, more and more I'm thinking that that's not an especially good bonus unless you have a very specific setup for using it, like a glass cannon sort of thing going on. Because that increased fragility is crippling later on, where a single mistake can end up reducing your HP to half will suddenly start one-shotting you because of that double damage thing. It's just not worth dealing with in my opinion. I'm gonna want to make my way back to the shop now that I have enough gold. I acquired that way more quickly than I would have been able to. Than I would have thought I would have been able to, but yeah. Oh, right, but I already have that reduced projectile damage. You know what? I'm gonna keep my gold then. I would say those abilities are roughly on par with each other in terms of usability. And saving gold for later just means I can make possibly a better purchase. Or if I end up dying an untimely death, I can conserve more gold for the next one, which will help me there. Alright, been a while since I've been to the old sewers, but here I come. After I make these purchases. Let's see... Yeah, let's go with more gold conservation. Might be able to unlock the next tier soon. Ah, that's right, that was another feature of this stage, wasn't it? Asshole traps. I'm gonna try and rally HP. Okay, somehow manage that without taking more damage. I'm just gonna use one of my healing charges. Better safe than sorry, wow. Yeah, the difficulty ramps up when you get to stage 3, whichever one is your stage 3. Deal with that mushroom asshole. I just realized I haven't been making use of my heavy crossbow despite it being very good. Let's see, more damage on bleeding target. Freeze upon death, I'll stick with the heavy crossbow. I want to try and get some use out of it. Like right there, look at that damage I did. I mean, it was half dead already from the Biter Swarm, but still. Definitely one of the more potent ranged weapons. There's a better example. Taking out those flyers immediately. Just gonna wait for my biters to cool down before I leap into the fray. God fucking damn it. Okay, so it turns out you can get hit by 2 bad explosions at once. I didn't know that. 2, I was already under the impression that I killed those, so I kind of just ignored them and started rolling away, and as it turns out, that was a bit of a mistake, but hey, I have more gold for the next one, so good thing I made no purchases. Okay, made it back here, and with a pretty decent setup. Not amazing per se, but I got Magnetic Grenade, Biter Swarm, decently powerful throwing knife. The main issue I'd say is the fact that I haven't found a decent weapon yet. The rapier has been the only thing I've come across aside from a frantic sword, which, you know my opinion on that, so here's hoping I get a weapon upgrade soon. I've also gotten a decent amount of level ups as well, which makes up for some of my shortcomings. And really, if I'm going to be stuck with a tier 1 weapon, I would choose the rapier. It's definitely one of the better weapons in the game, since that bonus damage on rolling is something you're going to be getting all of the time. It's a pretty hefty boost. Go, my biters, kill your brethren. Perfect. Love these guys so much. Ooh, what's the merchant offering? Ah, just a bunch of food. Well, I'll keep that in mind if I end up being low on HP. Let's see... Another damage reduction, and it drops a bomb when I roll. Oop, that was just poison there, my bad. Yeah, I'm not really keen on any of this stuff. Sorry, my friend, you'll have to stock with better wares if you hope for me to partake in your services. Yeah, look at how many hits of my weapon it takes to take out the enemies, even with the rolling. The rapier is definitely looking a little long in the tooth. Ooh, there's an elite enemy over there that I could challenge. Might get a weapon from it, if I'm lucky. Regardless of what I get, it will probably be good, so that might be worth trying out. Alternatively, maybe I should save it until after I found a weapon upgrade. That would increase my chances of taking it out without dying horribly. I do also need to remember to use my kunai more. I always have this issue where there's something in my loadout that I just fail to make use of, and that probably ends up leading to a lot of my deaths. Screw it, let's do it. I have a good stuff. That's fine, I'm just gonna throw throwing knives at you from far away until you... Oh my! Thank you, Biter Swarm. You absolutely saved my bacon there. Holy crap. Okay, well, I was hoping for a new weapon. Assassin's Dagger would not be my first choice, but it's tier 6, and it poisons the victim, so now I am the absolute king of DOTs. More skill damage, I'll take that too. Nice. Oh, I feel like the game's setting me up for failure by giving me all this useful shit. Like I'm just gonna die immediately to the next group of enemies that I come across. Well, at the end of the day, that depends on me and my skills more than anything. I just realized the Assassin's Dagger actually has a huge downside, and that there's going to be some enemies on which you cannot get the bonus damage because they don't have a back. Like that fungus I came across, I'm pretty sure that was an example of such. Something else to keep in mind when picking up this weapon, I guess. Not that I really had much of a choice this time. It was that or the level 1 rapier. And as much as I like the rapier, this is kind of the better choice. Alright, well that was a huge detour for nothing, except for more cells and gold. Oh, I gotta stop doing that. I really need to pan my camera more, at least in the stages where traps and spikes are heavily featured. Ooh, Phaser. That combos very nicely with the Assassin's Dagger, and it causes biters as well. The thing is, I'd have to give up either my biters on command or the magnetic grenade, both of which are incredibly useful. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do that simply because I'm not all that great at actively using the Phaser. If I was better about using it reliably, I probably would, but as it is, magnetic grenade is just so much better because I can set it and forget it. Yeah, the fungus doesn't really have a back to strike, unfortunately. I'll take that. Not as high of a tier, but +1 to skills, biters, and it's a better weapon in general. Plus, now I have bleed stacking going on again, and okay, a better biter swarm, I'll take that. I might actually swap out the magnetic grenade. Do I go with double biters like I did last time? That was doing me pretty good. This is a difficult choice. Sure, let's go with double biters. The game's giving me a repeat of last time. It has forgiven my sins of playing poorly. Oh yeah, look at those biters go. I don't even have to assist them in their kills. Yeah, more skills. Rocking the double biter setup, I'd be foolish to pick anything else. Oh yeah, look at that damage. Oh, love it so much. That nearly went very bad. Good thing I had those 2 HP upgrades, otherwise I would be incredibly sad right now. I thought I was out of range of the explosion, but nope, just barely within it. That, and I thought my biters would be able to take it out, but I guess they're not really capable of doing that. Good to know. Okay, things are turning out very poorly here. I am making a lot of mistakes. As it turns out, I may need to make another visit to that merchant. I think I'll do so next time I get to a teleporter. Just be safe here and toss my little buddies down. Maybe that's a tactic I should take more when I have the ability to do so, just dealing with enemies at ranged with skills, not even going in for the melee. I mean, hey, when I have a setup as strong as this, I don't need to go in for the melee, it's just adding extra risk. I don't even need to check what abilities it has to know that I'm not interested in using that. It's a shield. Okay. Because I really don't want to die here. Again, I'm gonna pick up some healing. Let's go with the cheapest one first. I should be pretty close to an exit though by this point. Doesn't hurt to be safe though. Ooh, lightning bolts. I've not tried this out before. Do I get rid of my extra bleeding? The thing is, the sub-ability of firing an arrow in front of me combos really nicely. I have 2 projectiles every other shot, and that's really nice. I really want to try out the magic, but now's not the time. Throwing knives are just better in this instance. I'll be a mage another day. Oh, wow, another merchant. Stiff competition here. Let's see. Ooh, upgraded rapier, that's tempting. Yeah, I don't know. The gold will pay for itself in time, and making it so that I take less damage from range stuff is really good, since in a lot of instances that's either been what directly killed me or a major factor in contributing to a death. And I think I have the funds to purchase both of these. Not quite. I think I'd have just barely under. I might be able to get that much, but extra damage on a bleeding target, and I have the ability to cause bleed even if I get rid of my blood sword. And the rapier is 50% off. Yeah, you know what? Let's go with that. I can't turn down a rapier, even if I do love bleed stacking. I think the rapier is going to be better for the boss anyways. After all, it was my first kill, and first encounter even, against the first boss that I had my rapier with me. I consider it something of a good luck charm. I got the latest gold upgrade. I could start investing in the next one, but I think going for some weapon damage boost is probably better. Oh wow, I have exactly 50 cells. Bingo. Even stronger rapier. It's only a 5% boost, but it'll probably help. Hell, if I just barely eke out a victory against this boss, I don't know what saved me. Alright. Let's see if I can actually beat the boss this time. I really should be able to. The only reason I didn't last time was because I didn't properly respect him. And I don't think I'm going to make that mistake twice. Yep. Go, my biter swarm. Do most of my work for me. I do want to try and conserve my throwing knives so that way I can continually apply bleed throughout the fight. Okay, this could go poorly. Yep, he's gonna do the leap, that's fine. Good. Yeah, I am learning his patterns a little bit better. I understand what causes his AI to do what moves a little bit better when he's gonna use the leap. Oh god. Maybe I don't understand it as well as I thought. Oh dear. Just gonna let my little friends take care of things. And bingo. Yeah, I think the thing is, the boss is a complete pushover early on, but when it's near death, it becomes incredibly aggressive. A good way of making the boss tougher would be to just make its AI like that all the time. Who knows, maybe they'll do that at some point. Do a Binding of Isaac style thing, where the bosses become permanently more dangerous if you get far enough. That'd be cool. Yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to open this, needing to get here in roughly under 10 minutes. That's gonna be difficult. As for these 12 cells... I'm not sure. Let's, I don't know, put it into heavy crossbow. I think I might try and upgrade everything once before moving on to most tier 2 upgrades. After all, I have no idea what I'm going to be picking up on any given run, so having everything be a little bit stronger, it just seems like a good idea. Alright, it's been a while since I've seen it, but I'm finally at the Fog Fjord again. Let's see if I can actually manage to beat it this time. And finally, for once, see what levels lie beyond it. Oh my god, look at how many biters are wandering around. And my cooldowns are so quick that I really don't have to rely on anything else. Yeah, if the enemy is incapable of hitting me at a given position, I can just do this. If I'm patient enough to do that, my victory is pretty much guaranteed, actually. That is an important qualifier, though, if I'm patient enough. That is the thing that ends up killing me in any of these runs, is my impatience. Just rushing into too dangerous of a situation because I want to end it quicker, rather than taking my sweet time and surviving. Higher tier, but I like the bonuses on the one I have currently more. So I'm not gonna go for that. Okay, so that was one thing I wanted to test out because I wasn't quite sure. If I attacked an enemy with biters and it was capable of teleporting, would it teleport to me? And right there I received my answer. So the biter swarm from afar strategy isn't perfect, but it's still really, really good. Flashbangs. Nope, I'm gonna stick with my little buddies. Unless they start to feel a little bit weak, I think I'll probably just stick with these for the rest of the run. It's been doing me pretty good so far. Like, this was a situation where this was the exact situation where I died last time I was on the stage. This exact enemy setup, and because I can just not have to approach the enemies, boom. It's not a threat to me at all. I have to see what this biter swarm's about. Might be better than one of my current ones. Plus damage to a bleeding target. That's better than this one. Holy crap, I am getting some really nice synergy with these random effects. I wonder if there's anything in the generation formula for those random effects that actually takes that into account. Like, if you have a bleeding thing, are you more likely to encounter an item with a bonus to bleeding? Or is it just purely random? I would guess that it's just purely random, but it'd be cool if they tilted things in your favor in that way. Oh, right, I forgot, you warped to me. I can't completely avoid paying attention. Just mostly. This is a tricky situation. I might want to approach him this way. Oh dear, and that's why I mostly want to be careful. Whew. Thankfully I managed to rally most of that. Didn't think that would explode so quickly. Ooh, two of these dudes. I'm gonna handle this situation carefully. Yeah, I think one way to nerf the biter swarms would be to make it so that they're more fragile, because they're clearly taking damage, but they don't die very quickly. If they would just had a little bit less HP, if they died quicker, or just disappeared quicker in general, that would be a good way of balancing them without making them too weak, I think. Hold on, how am I gonna handle this? The main thing I'm worried about is that exploding bat. For good reason too, because, oh, that's been the cause of a number of my deaths. Just gonna handle this carefully, good. Go, my children. Oh no! That was rude of you, game. Just putting me out in the worst situation possible. Good thing I reacted in time. That nearly went very poorly. This is the other issue with the whole Biter Reliant strategy, is if I can't actually toss the grenades into an area like I can here, and it's a small enclosed space filled with a whole bunch of enemies, I don't have too much I can do. I really want to pick up that amethyst though. I really shouldn't be risking this, but... my biters should be able to finish them off. Good. Oh, there's another one of these. I just had a thought. How different would this game play out if it didn't have a rally system? If it didn't have that, you would have to play so much more cautiously. The only reason I haven't been taking more sips of my healing flask is because I've been able to recover most of the HP I've lost with that rally mechanic. Just an interesting thought, and a way that they could say, make things more interesting. One thing I mentioned is that they really need to add more curses, because just having the you die in one hit thing isn't terribly interesting. A cool curse they could add would be to remove your rally mechanic entirely for, say, maybe the duration of a stage, or maybe a set amount of time. So that way you can't just speed through a stage to get under the curses, out of the curse's effect. Have it last for, say, 5 to 10 minutes. That would completely change the way you play the game and be an interesting increase of difficulty for accepting the curse. I wonder, can I blow up those cannonballs with knives? I'm not even sure if I can even deflect them. That's something I really do need to test out at some point. If only so I have a more thorough knowledge of the mechanics. My grenades blow them up, that's for sure. Either that or it was the biters, one of the two. Oh, it is situations like this where Biter Swarm reigns supreme. I don't have to put in even an iota of effort. Oh, this might be a winning run here if I don't get too cocky. Ooh, I'm going deep down into the underground. Oh, to the graveyard. So that's one exit that I can take. I'll keep that in mind. I'm assuming, though, there's going to be at least one more on the outside. I don't think I've been to any area beyond this point. Have I been? Maybe I have, but if so, it was for a brief enough time that I don't really remember it. Oh wow, my grubs got stunned by something. I'm not sure what though. I guess that could be another thing that could potentially cripple them, is an enemy that can reliably stun them all at once. Then they wouldn't be able to do their thing, you know, their murder thing. Yeah, if I were to start a new file, I would avoid unlocking any shields whatsoever. They just taint the item pool. Oh well, it is what it is. You learn these things as you go along, and I'm sure at some point they'll buff shields to actually be somewhat decent. I'm tempted to check out the meat grinder, but now's not the time. I have a winning setup here, and I really don't want to reduce my chances of winning just to try out some new shit. I'll have more runs in the future, I'm sure. That was close. I'm just gonna take a sip right now, so that way I can survive another mistake like that. If I die on the way to